Hi everybody. Thank you for watching Dear Sharita, where I answer questions and give advice on various topics. So today we are going to be talking about parenting. I was talking to a young couple on the other day, and they had some questions for me. So I wanted to talk about some of these questions on here today, so that maybe it could be helpful to any other parents out there. These parents were young, and I think it could be helpful overall. So thank you for watching, and let's just get right into it. So just to go back just a little bit, I do have 2 children that I have raised into young adulthood. So I do have some years of parenting experience, and I have experience with one of each. So I have a son, and I also have a daughter. So when having this conversation with the parents, they had a son, and they wanted to know just some of my experiences. They had a young baby, just several months old, and a little shy of a year old, and they just wanted to know some of the differences that I saw, or what were my experiences when raising my son. So, but before we get into this, if you like what you hear today, if you would just please subscribe, like, and share, and also comment if you have any questions of your own, or even if you have any statements that you want to share with others that may need some information or would like some guidance as well. So back into the topic. I was asked initially what my experience has been in raising a son. So my initial response, of course, because like I said, I have raised a son and I raised a daughter, and they were definitely night and day, polar opposites of each other. So my experience raising my son was very, very different from raising my daughter. And they were very close in age, so therefore I had the lovely opportunity of raising them very, very close together because of the difference between their ages. They were just about 13 months apart. So they were raised together. And so as I was thinking, and as I was having a conversation with them, I talked about, the differences between my son. From my experience, it was a lot easier overall with my son. They both were very smart kids. They both were very independent. They both displayed leadership qualities. My son was more of very observant as a child, very standoffish, just until he got comfortable in his surroundings, whereas my daughter was more of a social butterfly, and she would just, get right out there and get into it and laugh and communicate and play with others and that sort of thing. So when raising him, I think overall, they had a great childhood. There are some things though that I wish as a parent that I would have done differently, or just thinking back now, knowing some of the things that I know now, I definitely would have made different decisions. And one of the things I think that really stuck out to me was during the phase when he was younger, maybe the ages of 2 to 4, and he was going through the potty training phase. For me, that was a very difficult time, and I'm pretty sure it was difficult for him. And now looking back, I believe that I definitely contributed to it being a frustrating time for him. And if I had the opportunity to go back and change that, I definitely would, because I do feel like I pressured him a little bit more. Just as a parent, you kind of always have like these goals, even though children do things at their own pace, and you know, we as parents sometimes have goals that we want our children to reach as well. So just in my mind, and I was a young parent also, so just in my mind, I thought that around this age, to this age, he should be able to be potty trained, and you know, it'd be great. And with my first experience with my daughter, it was extremely easy. It happened very quickly, like the snap of a finger. So therefore, I didn't have the same frustrations with her. When it came to him, though, it was very different. And I'm looking back now, I realized that there was pressure put onto him, which I am sure that caused him to be feel the pressure, and then I think it created an unnecessary anxiety around potty training at such a young age. So thinking back now, I really do, you know, think that if I could have handled that differently, I would have allowed him to just go at his own pace, because ultimately it happens that way. The more you push, it seems like the harder it becomes. So I think that if I would have just allowed it to happen naturally, it would have happened sooner, and it'd been a better transition for him and myself. So because of that, I definitely do, you know, I do feel like I contributed to that, and that was one thing I definitely, and I do not recommend that parents, if you're in this phase at all, I recommend that you allow your child, you teach them, but at the same time, allow your child to naturally learn to do this, so that it doesn't become a stressful situation for you as well as them. And just one other thing that these are the two main things that really stuck out to me, but one other thing that I recognize now that he's a young adult, that I wish I encouraged him more at a very young age, even up as he grew up throughout the years, to express his frustrations more, instead of him holding them in, and then, you know, whenever something happens, he just kind of has a blow up, or he doesn't know how to handle it. So I feel like had I been able to address this better when he was younger, then he would have learned this process a lot sooner. He's definitely learned a lot better now, but I think that if this would have happened sooner, if I would have been encouraging him to express his frustrations more, meaning to have a conversation, to tell me what's wrong, to tell me what he's feeling, and help him to feel comfortable and be open to sharing these things at a very young age as he was growing up, then I don't think that he would have held as many things in, and he wouldn't get as frustrated. He would just talk about what he's experiencing. So just overall, I enjoyed my experience as a mother growing up with my kids growing up, even up until the point now. It's a totally different experience now, and that's another topic for another video. However, these were the questions that they asked, and so I answered their question, and I kind of wanted to come on here and also put my response on here in case there was somebody else that maybe had the same questions or had the same concerns, or maybe was wondering, is it going to be difficult because you may not have your child yet, and you may be having some anxiety or some concern about it, or you may be seeing some things that have you have some questions about it, and feel free to put those questions down in the comments, and I will respond to those questions either in the comments, or I will create another video, because that is a part of what I do on this channel, is to answer questions that people may have and give advice. So definitely put your questions down in the comments, and you can also answer some of the questions that you see in there, especially if you have knowledge and experience in these areas as well. thank you for tuning into the video today. Please like, please subscribe if you like what you're hearing. Please share with your friends, and I will see you on the next video.